Here for joining me at Torn Reels. Today I'm actually going to cover the tragic passing of James Earl Jones, and today we actually have one of the co-stars here on set with us, Ohan from Coming to America. How was it like to work with James Earl Jones?
You're a bitch. You're a bitch. Damn.
I'll put a picture as well so you guys can see.
You know what?
She's your queen to be. All right, I'm sorry. I totally picture you as that though.
I hate you on so many levels. Bro.
I'm sorry, bro.
On so many levels.
This is Andy, obviously.
Fuck you.
It doesn't even matter anymore.
Really.
So as I said, today we're going over the tragic passing of James Earl Jones. Unfortunately, passed at 93 years of age. Very sad, man. Very sad. I think you called me during the middle of while you were working, huh?
No, I went on a personal break to tell you.
A personal break.
James Earl Jones had passed away.
Yeah, Synchrony, you're not a priority.
Not at all.
I'm just kidding. No, I don't even know what company you work for, but still. Either way, I don't think it surpasses the importance of James Earl Jones is passing, which is obviously what you saw. Our favorite renditions of James Earl Jones is Darth Vader, the voice of the evil one himself. You probably can't see it because of the stomachs, but you know,
right.
Whatever. We're gonna pretend. All right.
Mine just looks like noodles, but it's fine. That's what
he did a bunch of other stuff, a bunch of other works as well. He was in Big Bang Theory, where he made fun of himself and he made fun of the whole Star Wars franchise, which again everybody does. It's hilarious. He did a few other ones. He was in
he was in
Sandlot 2. He did Fences. He did Fences for Broadway, which is a great performance. Amazing. I don't know if you've ever gotten the chance to
Amazing.
See it.
I've seen it.
Amazing. Fucking Fences is such a great movie. Just
to
begin
Coming
with,
to America.
Coming to America. He did Coming to America 2 as well. Obviously, Lion King. He narrated like pretty much every other history documentary that you can find. Seriously, go to the library.
He was in Conan the Barbarian. He did a bunch of stuff, and his acting always seemed so powerful, even if like he had little roles. Like even in Sandlot, like you see scenes where he's talking about like the New York Yankees at the time that he's supposed to be playing, and his accent and everything, and he's just very electric, and it's very like sharp and right to the point. It's like
right
it's
there.
Moving. That's right. The word you're looking for. It's moving.
It's animated.
He was very in that. He was that role. You know what I mean?
Right. And no matter what, even like even the practicing that he did, because he used to do the practicing for the blind role in Sandlot, where he would where he would actually like feel the ball and actually like look and have his head in the distance and everything like that, like an actual blind person, so it couldn't be like noticeable that he was like looking at the ball. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like just the stuff that he actually put into acting, the care, the fact that he didn't talk till he was fucking 12
because of a stutter.
No. Oh no, and his mom passing away or something like that too.
Yeah, but it was mostly because of the stutter.
Yeah.
But let me explain to you something. There was a movie. I don't know what movie it is, and I've been trying to look for it. But there's a movie that he did with Robin Williams, right? Where James Earl Jones has to stutter. I was like, you know how fucking terrible that must be for him?
I just fixed this shit.
Right.
Why would you do that?
No, and he's sitting there, he plays that shit off like a motherfucker, though.
Oh, yeah. Like, perfect, I can assume. I know that they used him recently for the movie Mufasa, which is supposed to be coming out here pretty soon. He still gets credits for all the Star Wars Darth Vader. He's still credited as the voice of Darth Vader. So I think they're probably still going to use him because, seriously, like, every voice changer probably was inspired after his voice.
Because his voice was magnificent.
It's iconic.
It's magnificent. It's everywhere.
You hear that voice and you can immediately tell who it is. Yeah. It's like Morgan Freeman. You hear Morgan Freeman's voice and you're like, oh, Morgan.
Yes.
Like you know exactly.
I want him to narrate my death.
Yeah. Or either Morgan Freeman or James Earl Jones narrate your death while you're getting punched or kicked by fucking what's that guy Samuel
L. Jackson?
No, fucking what's his name? Fucking the cowboy dude, the actual dude.
Oh, Sam Wilson?
Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott. That's what
Sam Elliott. While getting kicked by Sam Elliott and getting shot by Clint Eastwood, while getting said "fuck you, motherfucker" by Samuel L. Jackson. That would be like the epic death.
Yep.
Everything,
Yep.
everything you could
Everything.
possibly
All
want,
there.
all
All
of it
there.
right there. And then to catch you when you die, Ron Perlman.
Ron Perlman.
UFC fight,
Yeah.
UFC fucking introduction. Still does it. It's crazy. There's a lot of these old
Does he
talented
really?
people. Yeah, he still does it.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he used to do it on Spike TV because it was like a little role, and no one thought the UFC was gonna go anywhere. And you know what I mean? Same thing with like James Earl Jones with Darth Vader. He's like, oh, it's gonna be like a little footnote in my resume. Fuck it,
And
whatever.
it turns out to be the biggest fucking shit of his life.
2024 still using his fucking voice.
I don't know if they're gonna start. I don't know if they're gonna continue using his voice when, since he died. When I become CEO, I'll look into it. But yeah,
I'll look into it.
I'll look
I'll
into
talk
it.
to this estate.
I'll talk. Yeah, I'll talk to the state. Can we still use you for Darth Vader? I'm like, I'm gonna stop. I'm talking to him.
I'm pretty sure they will. I'm pretty sure they'll still use it. I know that Hayden Christensen was very honored to be the body for his voice. He even mentioned it in a few interviews and stuff. Funny fact, and I know you kind of know that, but maybe some of the viewers don't. The first time that James Earl Jones met Carrie Fisher was on the set of Big Bang Theory, and they had to pretend that they've known each other and played pranks on each other the whole time. Because remember, he was just a voice, so he was in the studio. Like even Family Guy makes it like a joke of him where he's dressed up as Darth Vader and he's like super fat and it's like blobbing out everywhere. He
Yeah.
goes, "Yeah, we just want your voice, man." Which is funny because he actually did. He played himself on that when he had the little line where he's like, "Oh, like it's him."
Yeah.
Like he did. He thought it was hilarious. He actually said in an interview that that's when he realized that he had transcended media because Family Guy made fun of him.
Oh,
He's like,
100%.
"Oh yeah,
100%. What people don't know is that he was actually like a kid, bro. He was
yeah,
like a 90 something year old fucking kid.
yeah." He
Like
was like a
how you
prankster
see
and
him
all
in
that
Big
stuff.
Bang Theory where he's joking around with Sheldon and like wanting to do a bunch of shit with him. That's really him.
Would
Like
it would be how he would be with Carrie if he would have known her the whole
yeah.
time? Because even during the time of Star Wars, you have interviews where he would hide the script from like the people who were like watching him perform, and they're like, "Wait, what the fuck?" And he's like,
Yeah. He was just chill.
he's just chilling and doing whatever, just like a kid. Like
Yeah.
I think it's just the trauma that people go through that sometimes like it comes out later and you never really grow up. Like you have to do stuff, but he's just like, "Yeah, fuck it,
You
I'm
know,
gonna
he's
have fun."
one of the only celebrities I've never heard had a scandal.
Yeah, yeah.
When was the think about it? When was the last time you heard fucking James Earl Jones dingle the fucking kid? You know?
He stays out of the limelight. He's like, it's cool, bro. Whatever. Him, a few people I know that do that. Like even well, no, I can't say Morgan Freeman because he has that whole radical racist speech that he says that he wants to get rid of Black History Month and all that stuff. But other than that, like, what does he really like? He played God. Like, what else?
Right.
You know what I mean?
What are you gonna say?
But I like people like that. Like, I respect artists like that. Like, you never have any like scandals. You're never like, oh, I'm out buying these fancy cars and driving drunk or doing cocaine. And maybe he did back in his heyday. Maybe he did. Who knows? I mean, hey, Coming to America must have been a wild ass film. Let me tell you.
I love him, bro. His voice transcends a lot of shit. There are certain lines in movies that he's done that still get me today, like in Lion King, when he's fighting with Scar and he goes, "Don't you turn your back on me," and you're like, "Oh shit!"
Mine
Like,
is
damn,
that a challenge? I was like, oh,
is that a
wait a minute,
challenge?
wait a minute.
Hell yeah!
That one, and then when they redub, like, I, I was again. I go back. I keep going back to Star Wars fans. I have the original Star Wars film without his voice,
All right.
where he has scenes without his voice, and we have the ones with James Earl Jones on it, and the impact that he brings. Not that the other guy wasn't great. He did a great job. I think the body, I think the reactions were there, all clicking. He was stacked. That guy who played Darth Vader
Tall.
was not just tall, bro. He was fucking ripped Zilla. Like the jackety jack. He had his balls hanging on the floor. Like if it wasn't for that cup in Vader's outfit, they'd be fucking dangling, bro.
Yep.
Like he was some form of chiseled. But the voice wasn't as impactful. He has a very light voice. He's talking. He says a scene where he says, "I want them alive,"
He
and
sounds more like a Bond villain. That guy,
yeah, like
like a Bond
like a
villain.
upscale
Yeah,
suit Bond
yeah.
villain. And he says the line like, "I want them alive." He's talking about the rebels, and he's like, "I want them alive." And you hear it, and you're like, "Okay, cool." He said, "I want them alive." And then you hear James Earl Jones, "I want them alive." Like the way his bass hits on the voice, the way it was slightly static and maybe slightly altered to make it sound more robotic. It fits perfectly with what you see on screen. You're
And
like,
even
"That's
and
Vader."
if we and fast forward to 2023 4, where Kenobi comes out, where Hayden Christensen's voice and James Earl Joyce,
Joyce, awesome.
and
Joyce
his bones.
and his phone
Oh my god. Where James Earl Jones
and his voice.
and his voice mixed together, and you can hear going back and forth, and you can hear still the power between his voice,
Yeah,
and it's still like it's amazing because it gives you chills. Because Hayden Christensen will talk to Kenobi or Obi-Wan, whatever you want to call him, Ben,
Ben.
Ben, and he's talking to him. He's like, you see Obi-Wan like, hey, you know it hurts,
Yeah.
and then you hear Vader's voice, and he's like, fuck, like
You hear Hayden, and it's kind of suffering, but then when you hear Vader's voice, you're like,
anger.
there's that evil with them. It
Yeah,
shows a direct duality with both their voices.
right.
Now I don't know if James Earl Jones. Wow, why can't I pronounce his name? James
Mr.
Earl
Jones.
Jones. JEG
J
or
E
J.
J E
You know what?
G Jeg. We're done.
J
All right, have a good night, guys.
JEJ. Sorry, JEJ.
It's been a long day. It's late. We love this guy. That's why we're doing it. But like, I'm burnt, bro. Like
James Earl Jones. I don't know if he actually did the voice for Darth Vader and Kenobi on that one. Oh, he did.
Mhm.
Okay, I thought they might have used like a modulator or whatever
No.
to like
They did his voice.
copy it. Still though, I mean, if you're gonna clone anybody, clone him.
Right.
Like
Or that voice. At least that voice.
at least a voice. Like have a set of vocal cords. Like,
Right,
just chill it
dude.
in an incubator.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Just-
I also like fucking in Coming to America.
Yeah.
His voice is fucking great when he's talking to what's his name? Zion. What's his name?
Zion.
What's his name? Fuck, what's his name?
Arsenio Hall.
Arsenio Hall, thank you.
Arsenio
That
Hall.
motherfucker.
Zion. We have a friend named Zion. I'll post a picture of Zion and I'll post a picture of Arsenio, and they look very similar. He looks like
I don't know how you're gonna find a picture of Zion.
no with a tooth, not without a tooth.
Again, still don't know where you can get one.
He has a profile in the fifth dimension somewhere.
Right.
Either way, like, he looks like Arsenio, and he also looks like Scottie Pippen. Like
Scottie Pippen.
He looks like a sober. He looks like a sober Scottie Pippen. Like Scottie Pippen looks like Scottie Pippen, like on Quaaludes.
Quaaludes.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
like
man.
Mike, you know, it's like, bro, talk normal.
Oh, for real.
Anyway, but yeah, we'll show you that. He's talking to Arsenio and what?
But he's talking to Arsenio, and he gets mad. I think he gets mad at him. And he yells like when James Earl Jones yells, bro. It gives me chills. I don't want to say I'm kinky, but you know what? Whatever.
I love how when they're the reaction that Arsenio Hall has when King Joffrey, who is the character that James Earl Jones plays, goes up to the fucking door, and Ohan knocks, and he opens the door and he goes, "Oh!" just fucking slams it. I'm like, that is Andy. That is 100% your reaction.
If you can, please put that.
I will.
Put that scene right here.
I'll put like just the volume a little bit so we can hear it a little bit, so they can hear it. It's 15 seconds, and then he closes the door and he opens it up. Your Majesty, what are you doing here? It's like, damn, Andy immediately.
No, I'm gonna be honest with you.
But he picks him up.
That's what I'm saying. He yells at him. I'm like, oh damn, Daddy, what?
Dad, what? What? Zamunda? I'm sorry.
Zamunda? Wakanda forever. I don't know, dude.
At this point, it doesn't matter.
Who cares, bro?
But the only thing I wasn't thrilled about, like, in Coming to America, like, I understand those diamonds on his crown were like blood diamonds, and like little children who are dying from like anorexia and other malnutrition things are getting them.
Right.
But like, couldn't you have like cut them? Like, it looks like someone took jelly beans and just stuck it to the crown. It looked really terrible.
I didn't even notice that.
Go look at it. It literally looks like a 4-year-old made like a macaroni, colored macaroni.
We're not gonna talk about the hair of Lionel Richie.
What hair of Lionel? Oh, the Jerry curl?
The Jerry curl guy?
Oh,
was it Lionel Richie? No, it's not Lionel
Richie. It's not Lionel Richie. But, dude, the fact that now Mike has the Jerry curl, it's great. It's the greatest thing ever.
It's hilarious.
Mike has Jerry curl. Our friend Mike now has Jerry curl.
Every time I'm gonna look at him, I'm gonna go, "Hello, is it me you're looking for?"
He does look like Lionel Richie.
I can see it in ya. Fun fact about the song, he's talking about a blind person.
You know, it's funny because when he had the locks, he looked like Killmonger. Now with the way he has his haircut, he looks like Falcon. He looks like a chunky Falcon.
Chunky Falcon. You're a dick.
Fucking Falcon is anorexic, bro. He's not even buff. He's like Twiggy.
Fact.
He's not buff. Like
like okay, I was about to say like Wakanda. He was buff.
Like
No,
Wakanda.
like Black
You are racist.
like like Black Panther. What's his name? Chadwick Boseman. I almost said Derek Boseman. Chadwick Boseman.
You just try to rename people, bro. Damn.
He died, dog.
He
Like have
died, bro.
respect.
Have respect.
No,
Put some respect on his name, bro.
like Chadwick, like he was chiseled. Like he had like
Yeah, no, 100%.
he was an Adonis, but Falcon, bro. Like no wonder you couldn't keep up with Captain America, bro.
Sorry.
Like,
Well,
you're
given
so
that,
skinny.
whatever. We're not gonna get there. But no, okay. Going back to coming to America, you know what? One of my favorite parts.
Which one?
It's Eddie Murphy. It's not even James Earl Jones. It's Eddie Murphy when he's singing, and someone goes, "Fuck you," and he goes, "Yes,
Yeah,
fuck you too."
like a foreigner, bro.
Because he's all happy because he's like falling in love, and he thinks he's like complimenting. He goes, "Yes,
I
fuck you too."
I love the interaction that and I'm gonna say the characters that well Eddie Murphy and James Earl Jones have in the movie Coming to America, where it's the King and then fucking Akeem who are talking about going to New York and everything, and he's trying to explain to his dad like, hey, I don't want to do any of this. I don't want to actually like get my wife picked and everything. And I love how he's trying to be so hard of a dad. Like he's trying to bond. He's like, I've noticed that you don't have sex with your bathers. I know I do. It's like,
Oh my god,
what? You never noticed that?
no.
Yeah. He's like, I've noticed you've stopped having sex with your bathers. He goes, what's wrong? He's like, what's
Oh
wrong,
my,
son?
me too.
You're just like, what
You know
the
what? That's the
fuck?
kind of life I want. If I stop having sex with my baby, someone's gonna look at me. Hey, you good? Hey, you good? You chill?
Like, he's so concerned as a father. He goes, how come you don't have sex with them anymore? Are you okay? Do we need to talk? I'm here for you, son. And he's just trying so hard. And then he's like, do we need to execute them or what's going on? What will make you happy, son? Tell me.
Hey, no, I'm gonna be honest though. The guy that owned McDowell's, bro, is a fucking terrible
Bro,
ass dad.
he-
At first he was terrible as
He
dad.
sold out his girl
He
for
sold it for like 50,000, dude.
The man has got his own money, and it's a picture of him. He's all freaking out.
He's like, man, the man got his own money.
Like the only thing he was rocking with was the chain. I loved his chain, his glasses chain.
100%.
I want a glasses chain so bad.
I love that he had beef with McDonald's because his place was called McDowell's.
They're taking a picture. Get the fuck out of here before I bust that camera, bro.
Dude,
Kill
I
me.
got the golden arches. I got the golden arches.
the
Bro,
golden arcs,
He's
bro.
so great, dude.
And they had the Big Mac. I got the Big Mac.
Hey, bro, he was a hustler.
He
He was a hustler, bro. Respect.
Okay, technically,
He's right.
He's right.
He's right.
He has the Big Mac. It's not the same.
Like you on the edge of infringement, but you dangling.
But you're
Like,
dangling. That guy played a cheapskate so well, bro.
I thought it was
And
fucking
then
great.
the cameo with Samuel L. Jackson.
His cameo was that was one of his first roles.
Really?
That was actually one of his first roles. Was Coming to America. He was an extra, and he wasn't supposed to say "fuck you" in the movie. He wasn't supposed to say "fuck you." He was just supposed to like look at him and then just walk off. And then fucking who was it? Akeem hits him, and he says "fuck you," and then fucking Akeem does it.
Right.
They thought that they like right afterwards they cut it, and he was like, "Oh," he goes, "I didn't think you were gonna say that." He was like, I might have done that too soon. And then the director saw it. He's like, no, it's fine. Because he thought he did it too soon in
Right.
between the line and hit the gun and fucked up the shot. So he's like, oh, fuck. Because they did all that.
Right.
Even Arsenio did like a lot of the stick work that they show in the movie. They did a lot of it. They like together and all that stuff. It was pretty cool.
I love how that guy, that McDowell, right?
Yeah.
He James Earl Jones goes, how much? He writes like 50,000. He goes, here. He goes,
What?
what?
I love that you see character development with him where he's like, you don't have enough money to buy my daughter off, and then the king looks at him and goes, nonsense. I was like, damn.
I was like, yo,
The flex that you're like, bro, you've never seen
I am
as
the
much
king
money.
of Zamunda, dude. You don't even know what I got.
Bro, I'll trade you people for your daughter. Oh,
I'll trade you for your daughter. Like, fuck you mean, dude?
bro, it's the greatest thing, dude. It's like just the way they dive so much into like all their fucking roles,
Yes.
like all the actors. But like the reason that we bring out Coming to America a lot is because that was the one time where it wasn't like he's playing a villain or he's not supposed to be this very like morose guy. He's supposed to be more giddy and funny. He's supposed to not realize that shit's
In this
happening.
movie, he was technically a caring father. Like,
yeah,
that's what
he's
he was.
supposed. Yeah, he's.
He
a
was
caring
supposed to be
father.
a caring father. He doesn't know how to be a father because he's a king.
He doesn't know how to be a normal father, so he's
Right.
doing what a king would do. Oh, I'll buy you more sex slaves so you can
I'll
be
buy
happy.
you this woman. You
Yeah.
like this woman? I got you. I'll buy you the woman. Like,
Yeah, dude, church scene. Church scene is one of my favorite things. Not only because of the chicken bone. It's like I thought it was a trash can. No, not just that,
oh my God, dude.
but which is by the way, like Tyler. That's Tyler completely.
100%.
We would be at church passing the tithe basket, and he'd be like, "Oh, here's my napkin." It's like, bro, donations. He's like, "Oh shit."
No, I feel like me and Tyler would be. They pass the donations. I need 1, 2, 3.
I'm just taking donations. Hang on. Just taking. My favorite one though is when Akeem is just like entranced by fucking what's her name, Lisa? Yeah, Lisa. He's like entranced by her. He's like, and then like Arsenio passes him the thing, and he's like puts him in there, and he goes, "Oh, okay." And he pulls out the fucking money, and Akeem grabs the whole thing, and you just see Arsenio, just fucking, huh?
Dude, because okay, what's funny is that you forget, like Arsenio forgets that like he's a king or like a prince. Somebody pulls out once money,
huh? What? Like, but he holds it, and he's like, "How much do you want?" And he grabs the whole thing.
right,
Puts
dude.
back to it. And then I love the when he's like, if you have no more money, you cannot cause any more mischief. And he's like grabbing his money and everything. He goes out of a solid gold money clip, puts it down and goes, "Please do not take my pocket money." And it's like a fucking giant
It's a fucking wad like this big.
of like hundreds. And I'm like,
It's like, yeah, I want that pocket money, dude.
bro,
Give me that. Throw that shit over here.
Yes, dude, it's one of the greatest.
And then one of our favorite scenes that even our mom quotes, the fucking stew. Your rent's due, motherfucker.
The rent's due, motherfucker.
So there's this guy that apparently tries to injure himself in the apartment building that they're at, so he doesn't have to pay rent. And so he falls down the stairs and he pretends to be knocked out. And then the landlord comes up and he goes, Stu,
your rent's due, motherfucker, and don't be pulling that falling down the stairs shit on me. You hear? Are you conscious? Shit. Because apparently he sued him a few times where he's trying to like compensate for him. So we live at our mom's house, and she's our landlord, right? She lives with her husband, but we live in the house. So sometimes we'll even do it on purpose. We'll wait till the second or third so we can get a fucking text message. "Hey, Stu," and we start fucking laughing our asses
your
off.
rent's due, motherfucker.
And we go for hours just sending gifs of the same dude rolling down the fucking stairs
bro.
for like
it's
hours.
The funniest
dude.
shit. All that is funny as hell.
Oh, dude, it's such a great movie, and like all the actors are vibes so fucking well, and then you see them in other shit, and you're just like, you can tell the development or how the movement goes. Like, you see it with all great actors. You see it with like Robin Williams. You see it with like fucking Jim Carrey. I mean, even though he went all like fucking psycho now, like you could still see the morphing. You could still see all that stuff. Which, by the way, real quick about Jim Carrey, I'm not hating. I'm glad he's kind of back. But didn't he say he was done with acting because it's superficial? Yet you're in Sonic the Hedgehog.
No. His words, and quote me if I'm wrong. His word says, "I will not go back to making movies unless the script screams at me." So Sonic, apparently.
What did Sonic say?
Right.
Isn't that every actor? They always say that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
They'll have to speak to me.
I don't know.
I like those actors that are like, yeah, sure. You're gonna give me how much? Fuck it, bet. Like the guy from Friday, the dad.
Fuck
Great.
yeah, dude. That guy is
Bro,
a legend.
Great. That guy's another legend, another great that should be mentioned in here. He was the one
What's
was on.
his fucking name though?
I can't remember his fucking name. I just know him by Pops, bro. But that's all I remember
Same.
him from. That's all I can fucking remember him from. But
Well, I'm here.
yeah, dude,
You in here.
he's fucking hilarious.
You know all my goddamn shit.
And the fact that he said it on Joe Rogan's podcast right before he died. He was on Joe Rogan's podcast. He's like, bro, I made hundreds and thousands of dollars being myself.
And eating.
He goes, and my mama always told me that I was gonna be obnoxious enough and no one was gonna love me. He goes, look at now, mama, and I'm like, bro, it's fucking
Hey.
on the podcast.
It's funny.
Mom's clearly dead, and he's like, look at me now, mama. It's like,
It's hilarious. No, and
fucking
there's those
hilarious.
legends that live up to their role and that love their role.
And you don't
Like-
have to do anything. You don't have to
Exactly.
they're just there.
And then
Greatness.
not only that, but they take pride in the work that they did. Like James Earl Jones in Big Bang Theory, when Sheldon's looking at him and Sheldon's smiling because he's Darth Vader.
Yeah.
And he looks at him and he goes, "You like Star Wars, don't you?" And he goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "You know, I've been in other movies, right?" And he goes, "But you don't care." And he goes, "Well, guess what?" And he goes, "I like Star Wars too."
And he's all
Like,
smiling.
He's all up about it, bro. Like, it's dope. Like, I like those type of actors that are into their role. Like Like you know who else? You know who else is into the role? Fucking what's it called? Mark Harmon, right? He plays Gibbs in the show NCIS. Right?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
One
yeah.
of my friends had met him, like passing by at a fucking airport, right? And he called him Gibbs, and he turned around and he smiled and he just kept walking, like you know the Gibbs fucking smile and shit.
And not just that, like you see another person just like that. Well, I mean, in another role that he's at, that he plays the opposite of Gibbs actually in Parent Trap, where he plays the stepdad and everything, and he has the whole thing where he's talking to the wife, and
Not
then
Parent Trap.
no, I mean, not Parent Trap, Freaky Friday.
There you go.
Sorry, and he's talking to the mom and everything, and then he turns around to the kid, and the kid is being troublesome. He's like, "If not, we're not gonna get an ice cream or whatever." And he's like, "Whatever." He starts making fun of him, and he turns around and he goes,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh, "Fuck!" And they dip.
And he
It's like
runs away. Yeah.
it's silly shit that he does, or like it's the shit that they get into without like meaning to.
Right.
And I can only imagine how somebody like James Earl Jones or even Mark Harmon or even any of them have to bounce off an actor that breaks them. Because for sure Eddie Murphy broke any of those characters multiple times.
100%.
Arsenio as
No,
well.
and especially with how silly James Earl Jones was.
Oh,
You know how
bro.
many times he probably broke on that shit?
How many times they had to redo takes? He was probably fucking giggling.
Fucking dying or giggling or some shit.
And again, like a lot of people, like Eddie Murphy was super famous. Arsenio Hall wasn't as famous as Eddie Murphy, but he was super famous as well. People forget that Arsenio did a lot of stand up, so he's fucking hilarious.
Oh yeah,
too.
he's hilarious.
He's really funny. And then the guy who does Ohan, he's supposed to be a serious character, but he's funny.
The fat
He's
guy, right?
Yes, yeah, he's very hilarious. Same thing with James Earl Jones. Even the girl, the lady who plays Akeem's mom, she's a very charismatic, like animated, ignited woman, and she plays very like stoic in this one. She's like
But
almost,
she was always loving. So she
Yeah,
was like,
yeah, yeah.
I love you. And everything.
but she's like very stoic. Like even in Black Panther, she's like because she plays in Black Panther. Even in Black Panther, she's more like
yeah,
sharp, more charismatic, more. Hey, I
she
have
plays
more
a good
personality.
royalty though.
She's great, bro.
She plays good royalty.
I believe, like, if she were to tell me, "Oh yeah, like I'm the queen of the," I'd be like,
Like
okay,
I'm a
yeah.
real queen. I'd be like,
Yeah, I'd be like, "Oh, okay, vibes,
I got it.
like
Vibes.
cool. Like, how long have you been in power? Like, you know, so,
Like,
I
let me
would
know.
believe it."
Where are you at? Like, what's happening?
But there's people that stay in those roles and that have like a commanding presence. Like, I think the only one that I can say would be as close to James Earl Jones' voice, or like the Darth Vader voice, the iconic Darth Vader voice, or Mufasa, or whoever was your icon for him, would be Optimus Prime. The
Ah.
Optimus Prime voice is pretty fucking
And that
spot on.
motherfucker loves being Optimus.
Oh
Prime.
yeah.
He
Fun
has
fact,
said it many times.
he also does the sound for Predator.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was dope because he
Because
loves,
he owns the fuck.
Yeah.
That's what I like about certain actors. Like, there's certain actors that, like the kid that played Anakin Skywalker, the little
Yeah.
one, right? He hated his fucking role. He said that ruined his whole career. And I was like, bro, you have to live up to the roles that you made, bro.
Yeah.
Like, even if they were shit, you think all these, you think James Earl Jones, Robin Williams, Mark Harmon, you don't think fucking they had roles that they're like, this is fucking ass, bro.
Even Adam Driver was like, "I'm happy about my role." He goes, "Why?" He goes, "I killed Han."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, that's
Right.
true." Like that's a big impactful role. Like, I killed Han, and people believe it. Like, people are angry. Like, we're angry
Yes.
with Adam
I
Driver.
don't like him.
Yeah, because he killed Han, and then
Yes.
you're like, "Fuck!" Like, damn.
Exactly, like fuck you. But that you have to, as an actor, you have to live up to your roles, and even if it's shit, like be proud of them.
Yeah.
You made money, like you know what I mean.
And sometimes it works out well, sometimes it doesn't. But you have to at least go for it. And I think that's one of the things that stands out with James Earl Jones. Like, he was all the passion that he had. Again, I go back to Fences. It's a very difficult movie. It's a very difficult movie just to even go through, or just see even the play is really really hard to get through because there's so much emotion, the struggles between a dad and the family dynamic and his son and everything like that. It was remade into a movie where Denzel Washington played it, and he also did it on Broadway for a while. Denzel's great, and you know how good he is.
100%.
I still think that he fell short of James Earl Jones'
100%.
performance
100%.
because there was something about it. Like, you believed him. Like,
Oh yeah,
you believed.
like it actually happened. To him.
Yeah, like
that
he's-
shit went through it. He
yeah,
went
like
through
like he went through all that. Like, he's actually talking to his son how he would talk to his
it.
son.
Right.
And I don't know James Earl Jones. He's probably a sweetheart to his kids. He probably
Right.
spoils the shit out of them. But it sounds like what he would do. And you get that. Even like gestures are stupid. There's a scene where the main character that he plays is building like a fence, right? And he's like hammering and everything. and he's hammering, and it sounds so stupid, but the kid talks to him. His son is supposed to be talking to him, and he goes, and he just moves the hammer just like that, just like readjusts his grip. And even that, it shows his frustration, his anger towards his son, his resentment, kind of like
Yeah.
the emotions that he's going through as a dad, seeing his son grow up and knowing and responding to the fact that he said, "How come you don't love me?" You know, stuff like
Like
that.
me.
Like, or yeah, how come you don't like me? It's impactful, and all he did was just readjust the hammer.
Right.
And it's again, it's something that's missing from Denzel's performance, but everything else Denzel hit spot on. It's just
Mhm.
the little actions that he didn't do, but that's not his style. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Right.
So you get all those like impactful moments from these actors who dive into everything, and it resonates. And you get people like this who been alive for fucking forever, 93, and finally dies, and we still think it's too
Right.
soon. Another one is Betty White. Like Betty White, she died with
At 99.
dude. Like, come on, you should have been dead. Like 70
Should have
already. Get
been.
out of here. But even then, we still think, man, she was taken away too early. It's like, my guy, a year early, like a year
Right.
shy.
Like,
Like,
swear.
damn.
But it's those people that made an impactful role in their lives that connected everyone, that made them feel like love. You know what I mean? Like
That's why people had a huge reaction for like Robin Williams, for Chester Bennington, for Chris Cornell. You had people who
Right.
had bad reactions for what is it? The guy
Michael
who plays
Jackson.
Michael Jackson, the guy who plays Severus Snape, Alan Rickman.
Alan Rickman.
You
When
have
Alan Rickman died, bro, I cried.
oh yeah, dude.
Straight up.
I'm
not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
It happened.
I think I watched the video where he says, "Please turn to page 394 like 8 times."
Yeah.
Like on TikTok, and it's not because you're like, "Oh, it's funny." It's like that's a nostalgic moment for you because you're a fan, you like this, you
Right.
do all that, you know, and then I don't know, it
Alan
just
Rickman's another actor, though.
yeah,
By the way.
he's Kevin
Kevin
Conroy.
Conroy.
Yes, yeah, thank you. I forgot about that. The iconic voice is the iconic emphasis, everything that you put into it. It means a lot, and a
Yeah.
lot of people forget that and lose that with your acting. Like you see people who slowly degrade their craft because they're just not in it anymore.
Because like, okay, no offense to this actor, because this actor is really good. I like this actor, but like Dwayne Johnson, most of his shit is comedy, right?
Hmm?
That's all he does. I've never seen him in an actual serious role where like it matters. You
Watch
know what I mean?
Ballers. He does good.
Does he?
Yeah, he does all right.
I've actually never seen it, so
Yeah.
I can't. I'm only talking based on my opinion.
It's not that great of a
Right.
show, but
Right.
his performance is pretty well. Like it's pretty.
So I've never seen him in a serious role,
right.
right? And so he's one of those actors that I wouldn't take serious.
Yeah.
Because I've never seen you in a serious role. I would like if I was a casting director, I'd be like, okay, I'm not gonna cast you for like a moment where someone dies because I've never seen you in that place. But it like if a James Earl Jones comes up or someone that I've seen in a serious position or a serious role comes up to me, I'm 100% gonna look at you more than I'm gonna look at Dwayne Johnson because
That's so funny that you say that because
You know what I mean?
he was also in Walking Tall. Even though that was an action movie, there was a lot of like emotional parts in it, and he was also in Gridiron Gang. Gridiron Gang, where he plays a coach for like a prison prison kids,
right.
like a juvie center, and he has to try to rehabilitate him. And there's like a lot of moments where he's talking to another kid where he didn't have a dad, and he's like, "Well, I didn't have a dad, and his mom's dying," and it shows a different view of The Rock. But if you
Right.
ever get a chance,
Yeah,
go look at
again,
it. But I
And
agree,
for
I
those,
agree with
and
your
for those
point.
people
I
that
agree with your point.
are about to fucking tear me a new one, I haven't seen all of Dwayne Johnson's roles, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's
So-
yeah.
So I'm going based off of the roles that I have seen him on, and it was just pure comedy.
Yeah, and I get your
it's the
point.
Same shit,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
it's a very typecasted role.
Right.
They have that GIF on or that meme on Facebook or on TikTok and fucking everywhere where it's Dwayne the Rock Johnson and he's wearing the tan shirt with
Right.
the 4 pockets and he's like, "Would you believe that these are different, like 4
All
different
different
completed
movies. Right.
and he has the same costume for all of them. It's like
Exactly, and then that's why, like me personally, if I was a casting director and if I've never seen these movies ever again, or I would choose a James Earl Jones or like a Morgan Freeman more than a person like Dwayne Johnson because I've
Right.
never seen his roles.
right.
So, in my opinion, I wouldn't respect Dwayne Johnson more as a serious actor than
Because of the fact, yeah,
of the
'cause
fact.
you
You
just
know what I
haven't
mean?
seen him.
Yeah.
That makes sense. It's kind of like the thing that they did with Arnold. Like no one really took him seriously because he was
Right.
super yoked and it's
But
like,
how are you gonna have a serious role with Arnold
yeah, looking like Wiener Schnitzel.
and the talking the way he does?
How are you gonna starring Arnold Schwarzenegger? Like that's luck
Right.
because that's a lot of letters on the prompter.
Right.
That's a lot.
But like they said the same thing about Robin Williams. Robin Williams was a very comedic actor,
Yeah.
and he played what is that fucking movie? Oh my god,
Name one.
Good Will Hunting.
Good Will Hunting. He did
What Dreams May Come.
He did Awakening. He
Awakening.
did 1 Hour Photo, where he's a
Exactly.
fucking serial stalker.
Exactly,
That's
and
a
those
creepy
are
one,
those
bro.
are roles where you see
Oh.
him, and you're like, damn, bro.
Yeah,
like,
What Dreams
fuck.
May Come, all that stuff. Oh, Adam Sandler's like that
Adam
too.
Sandler's like
Uncut
that.
Gems still
Dude,
fucks me up to this day.
Click, bro.
There's a 9/11.
Click.
There's a 9/11 movie that he's in. I don't think anyone's ever seen it.
Don't mess with the Zohan. I've seen it.
I didn't know it was Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
I knew it
Well,
was
Yeah.
completely different.
Yeah, dude. No, I totally get that.
And you get, and we're talking about a lot of people that are really great actors, right? We're talking about a lot of people that have made impacts in our lives and everything like that. But honestly, if you think about it honestly, those are just a group of people that come once in like a blue fucking moon. You know what I mean? Because
very, very rare.
there's not a lot of actors that I know of currently that could hit the spots that these actors have hit.
Yeah.
Denzel Washington, James Earl Jones, fucking Sam Elliott, fucking Ron Perlman, people like that hit certain roles in our life that made a deep impact in our fucking
In everything. In our whole life,
movie,
in our
our
childhood.
whole life, movie memorabilia, anything,
History,
And
everything.
I don't think people could hit those notes now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's no way that you could. There's no way that a lot of like this is why I don't understand about like the movie business. So they remake a bunch of shit.
Mhm.
It's like if you had the idea of brand new idea, you could get actors to that legendary status because right now, if you're just remaking movies, all we're looking at is the performance previous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like Jumanji. Jumanji is a great movie. Both of them. The new
But you
one
have
and the
Robin
old one.
Williams in your head.
But you had Robin Williams in your head, and the fact that he's not in that movie nor mentioned in that movie,
And not
because
just that,
dead.
and
Like,
not just that, like everything in that movie is iconic. Cameron Diaz is in that movie. The game's iconic. The fucking actors are all iconic. The soundtrack is iconic. It's just drums. Like if you put on Jumanji, anybody can recognize it. Same thing with like Back to the Future. Same thing
Right.
with like Jurassic Park. You recognize it. Indiana Jones. If I literally go da, 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 da,
Right.
like there's a bunch of nerds that'll continue singing.
and
it.
that's
the way it is.
That's what the problem is for the new Star Wars. They basically remade a new Star Wars, and you're sitting there, you're like, okay, it doesn't match, like it doesn't fit because there's so many good iconic roles that were in Star Wars originally that you're trying to compare them and it doesn't work.
And that's where I give its credits to Marvel, because Marvel was able to take something and change it, and go through the hero story with the villain, and
Right.
that hadn't really been done all the same time.
Right.
It hadn't been done in a very long time, if ever, and they flipped it. So in a way, you were rooting for Thanos, even though you didn't mean to root for Thanos.
Yeah.
You ended up rooting for him.
And not only that, sometimes when he's talking, you're sitting there, you're like, that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I get you.
I get you. That 100% makes sense.
And it's part of the psychology that they had to put in that movie for you to sympathize with the villain, so you
Right.
can have him go through the hero story.
But that's another actor that I feel like he made a deep impact in the movie history, because he played a villain that you actually were like, oh shit, like
Yeah.
maybe, you
And
know what I mean?
And it's funny because that actor actually plays so many like laid back roles, or more
Right.
like less serious roles, or super serious roles.
Right.
Like, he did No Country for Old Men. He did fucking Sicario. He did a bunch of other ones, and he's just
so
like,
great in Sicario.
He's so great, dude. He's so fucking great in Sicario, dude. He wears flip flops. I love him.
For real.
Anyway, but he's fucking like they're just those iconic people that just get stuck, even if you have to go to the other spectrum, like even like a person like Jack Black. Jack Black will be remembered forever
100%.
because of his energy,
Yeah,
the way he
100%.
is.
100%.
People have to shift up to gear to compete with his energy. Like
it's difficult.
that's a lot.
Dude,
Like
he has great movies like Shallow Hal, fucking School of Rock, Jumanji now because it's fucking great.
Yeah.
Like he has so many good movies that he has backed up with him that he's gonna be remembered for a long
forever.
time. And he has not only the energy, but he can make people laugh like no one's business.
and that's gonna be something that, as we start seeing, we're gonna have to see. Well, as the time starts passing, we're gonna have to see how studios and how everybody kind of react to the fact that the legends are going, and what they're gonna do to change the legends, because you have very little legendary performances now from newer actors because there's just no unique roles.
Right.
Like you're not gonna have another Dallas Buyers Club unless it's like a Dallas Buyers Club.
Right.
You're not gonna have that performance again from Matthew McConaughey, or you're not gonna have another performance like Taxi Driver again from Robert Downey Jr. I almost said Robert De Niro.
Right.
Like you're never gonna have.
You're not gonna have
again.
another god like Morgan Freeman. Like it's not gonna happen.
Never.
And that's another thing I wanted to mention, because Morgan Freeman and it wasn't that long ago. Bruce Almighty was a movie not not too far along. It was in 2000.
10
what?
years.
Right, 10 years. But still, like, and I'm gonna be honest with you. In the black community, you still weren't that accepted. Like it was still hard to find good roles, especially a deity.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Whoopi Goldberg played God in another thing, but that was terrible, and we don't want to remember that.
But you get what
But
I mean? Like
yeah.
in society, it was very hard for a black person to be God,
But to be any
any type of deity.
to be any not just that, but any type of really decent role. Like a lot of like, even though we've evolved as a country and has evolved in the industry and everything like that, like it's still really like shit on to be minority, to be a minority inside the acting business. Like
Right.
you have people like, what is it, Charlie Sheen, whose name is fucking Estevez, and they hit him because because he sounds Hispanic.
Right.
He's not Hispanic, he's Spanish, but he sounds Hispanic. So they're like, oh well,
We want him to get roles.
yeah, you can't be that guy. Or the Red Ranger from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. He's literally Hispanic, and they're like, oh, you're not that. You're from Italy,
Mhm.
and they gave him another background and everything, so he could come in. It's like, I know we progressed and everything like that, but you have those moments where these people had to like scrape and do all that shit, and they were iconic roles. Like right now, everyone's shitting on Marlon Wayans and everything like that. I was like, what are you talking about?
Wow,
The
yeah,
Wayans brothers?
The Wayans brothers can get it.
All of them? They're all fucking talented. They all created their own studio. They created all their shit, and they were like, okay, how much are you gonna pay us to give you our product?
And not only that, their movies, most of the movies, I
Scary
haven't
movie.
seen all of them, have been great.
Scary Movie was their best one, and not only that, they got taken out of Scary Movie because the directors were like, or like the producers and everything were like, oh yeah, fuck these guys, we don't need them anymore. And then they did Haunted House, which killed Scary Movie in the box office. And then when they wait, was it Haunted House or Black House?
Yes,
It was Black House, right?
No,
No, did they have a?
it's Haunted
Oh
House.
yeah, because then he released Meet the Blacks.
Right.
He released Meet the Blacks right afterwards, which was supposed to be like another Scary Movie type
Right.
thing, and it killed. Like that's like I'm sorry, not Black House, Meet the Blacks. I'm sorry.
Racist.
Sorry, they have a bunch of weird
Black
fucking
people?
names.
Was that what you were about to say?
No,
You racist
no.
fuck.
No, they have a bunch of weird names for their movies.
You
Scary
heard 'em.
Movie. All
Hey,
that stuff.
you heard him. You're just digging it. Right
I'm
there.
just saying.
digging up them holes.
Also, hang on. What did you think? What did you think about the fact we were scrolling today? Me and Andy were scrolling today through my Fire Stick, and we saw on Amazon that there's a new series coming out by Tyler Perry. It's called Bruh. It's literally just called Bruh. I looked at it and I was like,
I'm gonna watch it. I want to watch it just because of the name. Just bruh.
Bruh. Hey, it might be a good show.
No, Tyler Perry. Hey, no, Tyler Perry
Tyler Perry
is
can get it.
another fucking
Yeah.
actor that's gonna
He's
go
a-
down in history.
Yep.
Because of Medea.
Medea. Yeah, I believe that.
Have you seen him twerk?
It's what?
This is the same script, but they just
Over and over. Yeah. They just changed the name.
But you watch it.
But you watch it. Oh, I
And
love
it's so
Medea.
good.
Well, I watch
Have
it.
you seen Medea twerk?
I stop.
Have you,
watched-
just
stop
answer
it.
the question.
You know the
It's other lifetime.
you know the stop it. You know that
Oh my God.
fucking you know that old lady from that fuck, I don't know if anybody remembers her. There's an old lady from a sitcom a while back, and she's a bitch. She's an asshole. She's like this really skinny old lady, and she has like gray hair, but it's like an obvious wig. She's not really that old,
Right.
but they make her like that, and she has like glasses and no,
no.
I'm gonna put her up.
Is
I'm
she
gonna-
fat?
No, she's very skinny, but there's a lot of people, including Cat Williams, who allege that that's where Tyler Perry got the idea for the character.
That makes sense.
Because this sitcom wasn't as popular, but it was popular enough, and she was just like an obnoxious bitch, and she was an asshole, like and she would do the same things that Medea did, mispronounce shit, be a con man, and they would talk about her past where she used to strip and she used to do a bunch of things. She was like promiscuous and shit.
Right.
And it's the same thing. It's just a white granny. So like a lot of people accuse Tyler Perry of stealing it from that and all that shit. But anyway, I just wanted to bring that up as a quick little factoid. But yeah, seriously, James Earl Jones, he's gonna be missed. 93, fucking crazy.
Apparently, he was a Disney adult.
I believe that.
He like
I believe
ears
that.
and everything.
Oh, I
bro.
believe that. I believe it all. And then the fact that he was Darth Vader, it's really like a Vader to all of us. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like a Vader to all of us.
Like a Vader 12.
But anyway, well, that's been us. We'll see you guys next week on Torn Reels, where we're gonna finish the Harry Potter series. We just wanted to give a quick shout out in between to pay respects to James Earl Jones. But Until next time, see you guys.